Hey, wonderful people! Welcome to Family Tales. Today's story is about a man who caught his fiancée cheating only to be told by his own friends that he was overreacting to a one-time mistake. So he didn't argue, he didn't explain. He evicted the two friends living in his rental, changed the locks on his beach house, and blocked the rest. And suddenly, the people calling him dramatic were homeless, uninvited, and panicking. Let's get into it. I, 32 male, have been sitting on this for about 2 weeks now, trying to process everything. My hands are still kind of shaky typing this, but I need to get it out somewhere. Quick background. I'm a software engineer. Decent salary, nothing crazy, but I made some smart moves in my 20s. My grandmother left me a small house when she passed 5 years ago. Instead of selling it, I fixed it up and turned it into a rental property. I also inherited a modest beach cottage from my grandfather 2 years later. It's not some fancy mansion, just a 3-bedroom place about 40 minutes from the coast, but it's become the unofficial hangout spot for my friend group. Barbecues, holiday weekends, that kind of thing. My fiancé and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Wedding was supposed to be in June. Was. Past tense. 3 weeks ago, I came home early from a work trip. Flight got moved up by a day. Didn't text her because I wanted to surprise her. Maybe grab dinner, watch a movie, normal couple stuff. I walked into our apartment, lease is in my name, she moved in 2 years ago, and heard noises from the bedroom. You know the kind. My brain short-circuited for about 10 seconds before I pushed open the door. There she was, with my coworker. A guy I'd introduced her to at last year's company Christmas party. She screamed. He scrambled for his clothes. I just stood there, feeling like I was watching a movie about someone else's life. It's not what it looks like. Classic. Babe, please, let me explain. Also classic. I didn't yell, didn't throw anything. I just said, "Get out, both of you, now." He practically sprinted past me. She tried to grab my arm, crying, begging. I pulled away and went to sit on the couch, told her she had 1 hour to pack a bag and leave. She could get the rest of her stuff later. She left, went to stay with her best friend, who happens to be part of our main friend group. Here's where it gets interesting. Within 48 hours, my phone started blowing up, not with sympathy, with lectures. First text from my buddy, let's call him the one living in my rental property, tenant friend number 1. Hey man, heard what happened. That sucks, but don't you think you're being harsh? She made one mistake. People mess up. Then his roommate, tenant friend number 2, who also lives in my rental. Bro, she's devastated. Maybe hear her out. 4 years is a long time to throw away. Then the rest of the group chat started chiming in. She said it only happened once. You're not even giving her a chance to explain. Relationships take work, man. This is when you fight for it, not run away. Honestly, you're kinda overreacting. I stared at my phone for a long time. These were people I'd known for over a decade. People who'd crashed at my beach house every summer. People who'd borrowed money when times were tight. People I'd considered family. And they were telling me I was overreacting because my fiancé slept with someone else in our bed. I didn't argue, didn't defend myself, just typed one message to the group. I appreciate everyone's input. I need some time to think. Then I started thinking, really thinking. Tenant friend number 1 and number 2 had been renting my property for 3 years. I charged them well below market rate, like embarrassingly below. We're talking $1,100 a month total for a 3-bedroom house in a decent neighborhood when comparable places were going for $1,800, $2,000. I did it because they were my boys, because that's what friends do. The beach house? Open invitation to the whole group. They had the gate code, knew where I kept the spare key. Some of them had been using it more than I had lately. All these people telling me to forgive, to work it out, to not throw away my relationship. None of them had offered a single word of actual support. Not one, hey, that really sucks, I'm sorry. Just immediate defense of the person who betrayed me. So I made some decisions. Monday morning, I called my property manager. I need to start the formal eviction process for the rental property. Lease is month to month, correct? That's right. With proper notice, you're looking at 30 days. Send the notice today, please. Then I drove to the beach house and changed all the locks. New deadbolt, new keypad code for the gate. Took maybe 2 hours. Sent one final message to the group chat. Hey everyone, I've decided I need space from this situation and from people who don't support me. Please don't contact me for a while. Then I left the chat and blocked every single one of them. Petty? Maybe. But I was done being the guy who gave and gave while everyone just took. Update 1 week later. Holy crap, you guys. I did not expect this to escalate the way it did. So after I blocked everyone, I figured there'd be some angry texts that I wouldn't see, maybe some hurt feelings. What I didn't anticipate was the absolute meltdown that would occur when reality started hitting. The eviction notice was delivered on Tuesday. Tenant friend 1 and 2 had exactly 30 days to vacate, per the lease terms. Everything was legal and proper. My property manager handled it all. Wednesday evening, my mom called me. Honey, why is your friend calling me crying about being kicked out of his house? Because I'm evicting him, Mom. What? Why? I explained the whole situation. My mom went quiet for a second, then said, Good. You don't need people like that in your life. But expect more calls. They're apparently trying to reach you through anyone they can think of. She wasn't kidding. Thursday. My sister texted saying tenant friend 2's girlfriend had DM'd her, asking if I was okay and if there was something going on with me mentally. Apparently, my erratic behavior had them concerned. Friday, my coworker, a completely uninvolved guy from my actual job, mentioned that someone had been asking around about me at the coffee shop near our office. Described tenant friend number 1 perfectly. Saturday, the big one. I was at home, actually having a decent morning for once, when someone started pounding on my door. I checked the peephole. It was my ex-fiancée, tenant friend 1, tenant friend 2, and 2 other members of our former friend group. I didn't open the door, just talked through it. What do you want? My ex's voice shaky. Please, we just want to talk. This has gone too far. I don't have anything to say to any of you. Tenant friend 1. Dude, you're seriously kicking us out after everything? We've been boys for 12 years. And you chose her side in 12 seconds. Funny how that works. Tenant friend 2. This isn't about sides, man. We just thought you should hear her out before destroying your life. My life isn't destroyed. Yours might be getting inconvenient, though. One of the other friends chimed in. What about the beach house? I tried to go down there last weekend and the code didn't work. What's going on? I changed it. None of you are welcome there anymore. Dead silence. Then, chaos. You can't do that. We had plans for Labor Day weekend. I already bought groceries for the trip. This is insane. Over a relationship issue? A relationship issue, I repeated. You mean the part where my fiancé cheated on me and all of you told me to get over it? My ex finally spoke up again. It was one time, and I was drunk, and things between us had been weird, and I don't care. I really, truly don't care why you did it. I care that you did it, and I care that these people I trusted immediately took your side. Tenant friend 1 tried a different angle. Look, man, about the house. We can't find another place that cheap. Not in this market. Can we at least talk about extending the deadline? No. Come on, we'll pay more rent. Whatever the market rate is, we'll figure it out. The property is no longer available for rent. I'm selling it. Complete lie. I had no intention of selling. But watching the panic on their faces through the peephole, worth it. You're selling it just to spite us? I'm selling it because I want to. My property, my choice. Just like it's your choice to defend cheaters and my choice to not associate with people who do. They stood outside for another 20 minutes. Tried guilt. We were supposed to be at your wedding. Tried manipulation. Your grandmother would be disappointed in you. Tried threats. We'll get a lawyer. The lawyer threat made me laugh out loud. My property manager had assured me everything was airtight. Month-to-month lease, proper notice, No violations on my end. Eventually, they left. But not before my ex screamed through the door. "You're going to die alone, you know that? No one's ever going to love someone this cold." I went back to my coffee. It had gotten cold, but honestly, best coffee I'd had in weeks. Update 2 weeks later. The 30-day eviction deadline came and went. Here's the fallout. Tenant friend Marwan and Nartu did not leave willingly. On day 28, they tried to claim they had tenants' rights and that I couldn't force them out without a court order. My property manager explained, very patiently, that they'd been given proper notice under our state's laws. The lease was month to month with no protections beyond the notice period, and if they weren't out by day 30, we'd be filing for formal eviction proceedings, which would go on their rental history. Day 30, they were out. Barely. They moved into tenant friend Naratu's girlfriend's apartment, a one-bedroom that now has 4 adults living in it. I heard through the grapevine, my sister's friend knows someone who knows someone, that they're paying almost $1,900 a month now, split 4 ways in a space meant for 2 people. Remember how I was charging them $100 total for a whole house? But wait, there's more. The beach house situation caused its own special drama. Apparently, 3 different members of the former friend group had been planning to use it for various events over the next few months. One had already sent invitations to a birthday party there. Another had told his parents they were hosting Thanksgiving at their friend's beach place. Not their beach place. My beach place. That they'd never asked permission to use. Just assumed they could. When they realized the locks were changed and I wasn't responding to any attempts at contact, they tried to get creative. One of them actually drove down there and tried to break in. I only know this because I'd installed a Ring camera after changing the locks. Got a notification at 2 a.m. showing someone jiggling the door handle, then trying windows, then eventually giving up and driving away. I saved the footage, just in case. The desperation ramped up. They started going through anyone who might still have my ear. My aunt called. "Your friend says there's been a misunderstanding about some property. He seems very upset." There's no misunderstanding. They sided with my cheating ex, so they're out of my life. All of them. My co-worker, the uninvolved one, got approached again. They asked if you were having mental health problems. I told them you seemed fine to me and to leave you alone. My ex's mother, a woman I'd met exactly twice, somehow got my email and sent me a 4-paragraph message about Christian forgiveness and how holding on to anger hurts you more than them. I didn't respond. The final straw came last week. I got a letter, an actual physical letter, hand-delivered to my apartment. It was from my ex. 8 pages, 8. College-ruled notebook paper, front and back. I'll spare you the full contents, but highlights included. She claimed my coworker had pursued her relentlessly, and she gave in during a moment of weakness. She said I'd been emotionally distant for months, news to me. She accused me of caring more about property than people. She demanded I make things right with our friends because I was ruining everyone's lives. She threatened to tell everyone what kind of person you really are. The entitlement was genuinely breathtaking. She cheated, I removed myself and my resources from the situation, and somehow I was the villain ruining everyone's lives. I shredded the letter. But here's the thing. I'm not actually angry anymore. I was at first. That cold fury that comes when you realize you've been used and disrespected by people you trusted. But now, I just feel clear. I spent a decade being the guy with the rental property everyone could crash at, the guy with the beach house for every holiday, the guy who loaned money and never saw it again, the guy who showed up to every birthday party, every moving day, every emergency. And the second I needed support, real support, not maybe forgive the person who betrayed you support, they showed me exactly where I stood. Nowhere. I stood nowhere. So now, they can stand nowhere, too. Final update, 6 weeks later. All right, closing this chapter for good. The aftermath has been, honestly, kind of pathetic to watch. Tenant friend number 1 and number 2 lasted about 3 weeks in that one-bedroom apartment before things imploded. The girlfriend kicked them out after a screaming match about dishes or something. They've both bounced around different couches since then. Last I heard, tenant friend number 1 moved back in with his parents at 34 years old. Tenant friend number 2's living in an extended stay motel. The beach house tantrum resulted in exactly 0 consequences for me. One of them did threaten to sue, claiming they had some kind of implied access agreement because they'd been using the property regularly. My lawyer, yes, I got one after the break-in attempt, laughed and sent back a very formal letter explaining that there was no such thing as implied access to private property, and that I had video evidence of attempted breaking and entering that could be forwarded to police if harassment continued. Never heard from them again. My ex moved on to her next target, some guy she met through a dating app, according to mutual acquaintances who've tried to give me updates I don't want. Her mom sent one more email about forgiveness. I set up a filter to automatically delete anything from that address. The coworker she cheated with got quietly transferred to another department after rumors spread through the office. I didn't start those rumors. Turns out his own friends did after he drunkenly bragged about stealing someone's fiancée. Real winner. Here's the thing people don't tell you about cutting toxic people out of your life. The first few weeks are hard. You second-guess yourself constantly. You wonder if maybe you are overreacting. You lie awake at night thinking about 12 years of friendship and whether one incident, or really one series of incidents, is worth torching all of it. But then the quiet sets in. The peaceful, beautiful quiet. No more group chat blowing up with drama I don't care about. No more, "Can I crash at the beach house next weekend?" requests. No more lending money that vanishes into thin air. No more being the guy everyone uses, but no one actually values. I've got the rental property listed at market rate now. Already have interested tenants, a young couple with a baby. They seem nice, they've got good references, and they actually appreciate what they're getting. Spent last weekend at the beach house by myself. First time I've actually enjoyed being there in years. No one asking me to pick up more beer. No one trashing the kitchen. No one complaining about the Wi-Fi. Just me, a book, and the sound of waves. My mom asked if I've made any new friends yet. I told her I'm working on it. Joined a cycling group that meets Sunday mornings. Everyone's friendly, but no one's asking to borrow my spare bedroom, so that's already an improvement. Do I miss them? Honestly, sometimes. I miss who I thought they were. I miss the 12 years of memories. I miss having people to call when something funny happens. But I don't miss being taken for granted. I don't miss being the reliable backup plan who never got the same reliability in return. I don't miss explaining to a room full of people why it's not okay that my fiancé slept with someone else. Some of them have tried to reach out through various channels. A couple of genuine-sounding apologies buried in long explanations of why they didn't mean it like that, and just wanted what was best for me. I haven't responded to any of them. Not out of anger. I'm really not angry anymore. But out of respect for myself. People who truly wanted what was best for me would have asked what I needed, not told me what I should feel. My ex sent one last message through a mutual acquaintance about 2 weeks ago. Apparently, she wanted me to know she was sorry and hoped I found happiness. I have, just not with any of them. The beach house is mine. The rental property is mine. My self-respect is mine. They can figure out Labor Day weekend on their own.